In a remote African village surrounded by endless hills and lush greenery, there lived a young girl named Amina. Amina's life had been marked by tragedy. She lost her parents at a tender age when a mysterious illness swept through their village. Orphaned and vulnerable, Amina was taken in by her relatives who resented her presence. They treated her with cruelty, seeing her as an extra burden rather than a child in need of love. Amina's days were filled with endless chores, from scrubbing the floors to preparing meals and tending the farm. Despite her hard work, she was often denied food, surviving on scraps or nothing at all. The beatings she endured were frequent and harsh, leaving her body bruised and her spirit weary. But even in her suffering, Amina's heart remained pure. She clung to the memories of her parents, who had taught her kindness and resilience. She often sought solace by the river, where she would hum songs her mother used to sing. Amina dreamed of a better life, though she knew such dreams were unlikely to come true. A fateful encounter. One scorching afternoon, Amina was sent to fetch water from a stream that ran alongside the village road. As she approached, she noticed something unusual, a figure lying motionless in the middle of the dusty road. Amina's heart skipped a beat. Was the person alive or dead? She hesitated for a moment, but quickly gathered her courage and rushed to the person's side. It was an older woman, her face pale and her breathing shallow. "Mama, can you hear me?" Amina asked, shaking her gently. There was no response. Realizing the urgency, Amina looked around for help, but the road was deserted. She decided to act. Summoning all her strength, she lifted the frail woman onto her back. The journey back to her relative's home was long and exhausting, but Amina refused to give up. By the time she arrived, her dress was soaked with sweat and her legs were trembling. Saving the woman. Amina placed the unconscious woman on a mat in the corner of the small hut. Ignoring her relative's scolding, she quickly gathered medicinal herbs her late mother had taught her to use. She ground the herbs into a paste and carefully applied them to the woman's chest. She also boiled water and poured it into a clay pot, allowing the steam to soothe the woman's breathing. Hours passed, and Amina remained by her side, wiping her forehead and whispering prayers. Eventually, the woman stirred. Her eyelids fluttered open, and she looked around weakly. "Where am I?" the woman asked in a faint voice. "You're safe, Mama," Amina replied with a reassuring smile. "I found you on the road and brought you here." The woman's eyes filled with tears. "You saved my life, child." "Thank you." Amina felt a sense of fulfillment, though she knew her relatives would not see her actions as noble. Witnessing Amina's plight. As the old woman, Mama Grace, regained her strength, she began to notice Amina's situation. She saw how Amina's relatives barked orders at her and scolded her for the smallest mistakes. She watched as Amina toiled from dawn till dusk, her tiny frame burdened by endless chores. The cruel words and harsh punishments made Mama Grace's heart ache. One day she confronted Amina's aunt. "Why do you treat this child so poorly?" The aunt scoffed. "She's not our child. She's just a burden we have to bear." Mama Grace said nothing more, but she made up her mind to help Amina. When Mama Grace was strong enough, she prepared to leave, promising herself she would not forget the girl who had saved her life. "Thank you for everything, Amina," she said, embracing the girl before departing. Amina smiled, though her heart felt heavy. She had grown fond of the kind old woman. Mama Grace's sons. Mama Grace returned to her home in the bustling city, a stark contrast to the quiet village. She lived in a grand mansion with her 3 sons, who were all incredibly successful. Her eldest son, Michael, was a renowned doctor and the CEO of a major hospital. The second son, David, owned a chain of luxurious 5-star hotels. The youngest son, James, managed a thriving car manufacturing company. Despite their wealth and busy lives, the brothers were deeply devoted to their mother. When Mama Grace told them about Amina, they listened intently. "She's just a child, but she has the heart of an angel," Mama Grace said. The brothers were moved by her story and decided to help Amina in any way they could. "We'll bring her here," Michael said. "She deserves a better life." 51 to 60, bringing Amina to the city. A few weeks later, a sleek black car pulled up in Amina's village, drawing curious stares. Two smartly dressed men stepped out and approached Amina as she was fetching water. "Are you Amina?" one of them asked. Amina nodded, clutching her water pot nervously. They handed her an elegant envelope, embossed with gold lettering. Inside was an invitation from Mama Grace, requesting her presence in the city. Amina's relatives protested, accusing her of neglecting her duties. But the men insisted, and Amina was escorted to the city. When she arrived at Mama Grace's mansion, she was overwhelmed by its beauty. Mama Grace greeted her warmly, embracing her like a long-lost daughter. 61 to 70, a new life. "From today, you are my daughter," Mama Grace declared, her voice filled with emotion. Amina burst into tears, overwhelmed by the kindness she had been shown. Mama Grace introduced Amina to her 3 sons, who welcomed her with open arms. "You're our sister now," David said with a smile. The brothers made it their mission to protect and care for Amina. They enrolled her in the best schools, ensuring she received an excellent education. They bought her beautiful clothes and took her on trips to see the world. For the first time in her life, Amina felt loved and valued. She worked hard in school, determined to make her new family proud. Her bond with her brothers grew stronger each day, and they treated her as one of their own. 71 to 80, overcoming the past. Word of Amina's new life spread back to her village, shocking her relatives. They were filled with regret and shame for how they had treated her. Amina, however, held no grudges. She focused on building a bright future and giving back to those in need. With her brother's support, she started a foundation to help orphan children. She also built schools and clinics in her village, ensuring no child would endure what she had. Her relatives, humbled by her success, apologized for their past behavior. Amina forgave them, knowing that bitterness would only hold her back. Her journey from a mistreated village girl to a confident, successful woman inspired many. She became a symbol of hope and resilience in her community. 81 to 100, a legacy of kindness. Amina's life continued to flourish under the love and support of her new family. She completed her education and began working alongside her brothers. Michael taught her about medicine and healthcare, sparking her interest in helping others. David introduced her to the world of hospitality, where she learned about management and service. James inspired her with his entrepreneurial spirit, encouraging her to dream big. Amina combined everything she learned to create her own ventures, uplifting others in the process. Mama Grace watched with pride as Amina blossomed into a remarkable young woman. "You've made me proud, my daughter," she often said, her eyes glistening with tears. Amina remained humble, always remembering where she came from. Her acts of kindness created a ripple effect, inspiring others to give back. She often visited her village, not as a stranger, but as a beacon of hope. The children admired her and the elders respected her. Amina's story was told and retold, becoming a legend in the village. She proved that even the smallest act of kindness could change a life. Her brothers continued to stand by her, proud of the woman she had become. Together, they built a legacy of compassion and generosity. Amina never forgot Mama Grace, who had been her angel in disguise. She honored her by continuing to help others, just as Mama Grace had helped her. The bond between them remained unbreakable, a testament to the power of love and gratitude. Amina's life was a reminder that kindness, no matter how small, could create miracles. The village whispers. As news of Amina's new life spread through the village, her former bullies found themselves at the center of gossip. Neighbors whispered about how cruelly Amina had been treated by her relatives and others in the village. "Imagine, the girl they starved and mistreated is now living in a mansion," one woman said. "And to think they made her fetch water every day while they sat idle," another added. The relatives who had once scorned Amina tried to justify their actions, claiming they had done their best. But no one believed them. Their excuses only deepened the shame they felt. Children in the village began pointing fingers at them, calling them out for their cruelty. "How could you treat her like that?" one elder asked her aunt during a community gathering. The aunt, unable to respond, hung her head in silence. Her cousins, who had once mocked and bullied Amina, found themselves shunned by their peers. A public humbling. The shame grew unbearable when Amina returned to the village for the first time since her departure. She arrived in a convoy of sleek cars, with Mama Grace and her 3 sons by her side. The villagers gathered in awe, murmuring about Amina's radiant beauty and confidence. Her former bullies avoided the crowd, afraid to face her. However, Amina walked straight to her relative's home, determined to confront the past. "Amina?" her aunt stammered, her voice trembling with guilt. Amina looked at her calmly. "I'm not here to hold grudges. I came to forgive you." Tears streamed down her aunt's face as she fell to her knees, begging for forgiveness. "We didn't know any better. Please forgive us," her cousins echoed. Amina extended her hand to help her aunt up. "I forgive you, but let this be a lesson to treat others with kindness." Redemption and regret. The villagers, witnessing Amina's grace, praised her for her humility. However, her relatives felt a deep sense of regret, knowing they had lost the chance to treat her with love. Her aunt confided in a neighbor, "I didn't realize what a gem she was until it was too late." Her cousins, once arrogant and dismissive, struggled to find acceptance in the community. Many villagers refused to associate with them, disgusted by their past actions. Meanwhile, Amina continued her charitable work, building schools and clinics for the community. Each project she completed served as a reminder of her strength and generosity. Her bullies could only watch from the sidelines, their shame growing with each act of kindness she performed. "We could have been part of her journey," one cousin lamented, but they knew their actions had forever tainted their relationship with Amina. Facing the consequences. Some of Amina's bullies tried to apologize publicly, hoping to regain their dignity. They approached her during a village celebration, kneeling before her and begging for forgiveness. "We were wrong, Amina. Please forgive us," one of them pleaded. Amina smiled gently. "I've already forgiven you, but forgiveness doesn't erase consequences." Her words struck a chord, leaving the bullies to reflect on their actions. They realized that they had lost the respect of the entire village. No one wanted to be associated with people who had mistreated someone so kind. The bullies began to isolate themselves, unable to escape the weight of their shame. Some of them moved to other villages, hoping for a fresh start. But even in their new homes, whispers of their cruelty followed them. A village transformed. Amina's rise to success became a turning point for the village. Parents began teaching their children the importance of kindness and humility. "Look at Amina," they would say. "She succeeded because of her good heart." The village chief invited Amina to speak at a community meeting where she shared her story. "Never underestimate the power of kindness," she told the crowd. "What you give to others will always come back to you." Her words inspired many to change their ways, creating a more compassionate community. Even her bullies, despite their shame, began helping others in small ways to atone for their past. Amina's presence brought hope to the village, transforming it into a place of unity and love. The bullies' shame gradually turned into motivation to become better people. Amina's story became a legacy, proving that even the cruelest actions could be redeemed through humility and change. Moral lesson. The story of Amina teaches us that kindness and compassion, no matter how small, have the power to change lives in extraordinary ways. Even in the face of hardship and cruelty, maintaining a pure heart and selflessness can lead to unimaginable blessings. It also reminds us that how we treat others reflects who we truly are, and that mistreating someone today might bring regret tomorrow. Acts of cruelty, can result in shame, while acts of kindness can inspire transformation and growth. Finally, forgiveness and humility are powerful tools for healing, not just for those who wronged us, but for ourselves. Amina's journey demonstrates that rising above bitterness and using our experiences to uplift others creates a legacy of hope and positive change. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the notification bell and turn it on for many more beautiful, cheerful, inspirational, educational, and captivating stories of African folk tales. Stay tuned. Much appreciated for your time. See you on my next video. God bless you all.